We're here to answer one question. When it comes to big summer epics, does Spielberg still deliver? Welcome back, everyone. We're here today to talk about Disclosure Day. It's a new Spielberg film that is in the theaters right now. Kind of a sci-fi action adventure film. And I want to know, when it comes to Spielberg movies, what is your favorite? Let me know down in the comments below. But for now, let us talk about Disclosure Day. So one of my favorite things about this film, getting into the review, and yes, we will be talking about the plot, so just a heads up, I have a spoiler-free review available on my channel for members, if that's something that interests you. But in this, we will be getting into some spoilers, so just so you know, I'm not gonna get too crazy, but we will be talking about what happens in the movie. To start off, something that I love about this movie is that we actually get dropped right into the action at the beginning of the film. It starts right in the middle of things, or as some people would call it, in medias res. That's what you would call it in literature. We're jumping right into the middle of the story, and in theater and in film. So starting right into the middle. So starting right off, there's already action going on. We got a character who is being pursued by some kind of secret agency. We don't know why. They want what he's got. They seem to have someone that he wants in captivity, and you're just trying to kind of figure out what's going on and why these people want this man's backpack. Which, is something that I love when films do, when they trust the audience enough to say, we don't have to start off with a bunch of exposition here. Let's just start off where the story is happening. And throughout the course of what's going on in this movie, you will figure out everything you need to know. And that is exactly what happens with this film. So that was something I really liked. We start off also in the midst of a wrestling match with real wrestlers, by the way, who they cast, which I always love when we have wrestling in a film and actual wrestlers get to be a part of it. This film feels very much like a classic Steven Spielberg film. Now, when I say that, what do I mean? Well, I mean, it's got aliens. And we know Spielberg loves aliens, so that is mostly what the film is about, but also the way that this film is crafted. It feels like a Spielberg film. The acting is all really well done, and the acting makes everything feel both, on one hand, a lot more grounded, and on the other hand, a lot more exciting. Because there are some real stakes at play here, and there are characters that have some real issues that they have to face. I think my favorite actor in this would be Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt plays Margaret Fairchild, who is a weather woman, a reporter in Kansas City, who goes on this journey where she has to confront a lot of her past and her childhood and her trauma, particularly what happened to her dad and how her dad had Parkinson's. And there's a whole scene on the train where she's having a panic attack. And I just thought that Emily Blunt did such a great job portraying what it actually feels like to have a panic attack. As someone that's had one before, I thought she did an amazing job. But she's not the only actor that's in this that's great. I mean, there's a lot of big names in this. Colin Firth is great in this, and I also feel like Coleman Domingo as Hugo did a great job. Honestly, all the performers that are in this do a great job. But those are a few of my highlights from the film. There are some really big action sequences as well in this movie. So if you're a person like me that likes action, get ready. While the fight scenes are not particularly frequent in terms of people duking it out, there is a lot of big set pieces in this. We have a lot of cars that get destroyed. There's a car that goes through an entire house, and I thought that looked amazing. And I'm pretty sure they just really did that. So a lot of practical effects when it comes to the action. There's also the sequence that you may have seen in the trailers where they're on the train tracks. That whole sequence, I was on the edge of my seat. I thought it was so well done. So there's some really big things going on in this movie if you are a person that likes big action. And of course, all of the emotions that we go through on the journey, whether we're talking about life in the cosmos and if life in the cosmos contradicts our belief in God, or some people's beliefs in God, or if those two things can coexist and we're in the more philosophical part of the film, or whether we are in some edge of our seat, I don't know what's going to happen, life or death situation, or whether we're in a crazy chase that's going on where everything is getting destroyed in the past, so many cars being destroyed. Or if it's just more of a mysterious moment where we're watching action happen and we don't really know what to make of it yet. And we're questioning, like, what's really going on here? All of the music that is happening beneath all of this is so well composed. And it's no surprise because our composer for this film, of course, is John Williams. Now, John Williams and Steven Spielberg don't always work together, but I feel like when they do, they really make some movie magic happen. And Disclosure Day is no exception to that rule, in my opinion. They also do a great job with this film working together. And the other thing is, it's not just the audio that's beautiful in this movie, but the visuals are also really striking. And I'm talking mainly about the cinematography here, the way the camera moves and the way that these shots are composed. It's just pure art. A lot of these shots actually feel like they would be tricky to do as well. There's a lot of reflection shots in the film, which I think plays with this idea of, you know, looking into people's eyes, people's souls being seen through their eyes. Also, the reflections can kind of pertain to, I think, reflecting on who we are and how it is through reflecting and understanding each other and not through fear that we as people can just move forward as a society. There's a lot of themes of reflection in this film and thinking about what things mean to us and what we want out of life, what is important to us, how we deal with the fact that we are here on this planet, in this cosmos, in space, and what does all of that mean to each individual person? That idea of belief and faith and all of those things that we're exploring, I think the reflections are supposed to be a symbol of that we see in the shots. I feel like this film, there's probably a lot more symbolism going on than even I initially took in from my first watch. Like, Disclosure Day does seem as though it's a film that's made to watch multiple times, where the more that you watch it, the more layers you're going to get in terms of what's happening and what everything is meant to mean. Kind of like that moment in Jurassic Park where we're in the helicopter with Alan Grant and he's trying to do his seatbelt up. I think it's in the helicopter. And he has two female ends and he isn't able to tighten up his seatbelt, so he just ties it together. And there's that idea of, you know, nature finds a way. It's like that idea of, even though the dinosaurs were made female so they couldn't all procreate, nature finds a way and they still procreate. And the seatbelt also represents, foreshadows what's going to happen in the film. All of that. I think that is what Disclosure Day has going on as well. I just haven't had enough time to sit with it and revisit it and rewatch it to understand all those levels. So I can't really get into all of it in this video, but I think if you go back and you watch it again, and when I watch it again, I'm sure I'm going to see a lot more depth going on in this script. And that's something that I really love about this script, is that it is also an original screenplay. It's written for film, and I think the way that the film is shot also lends so well to the story. There's so much visual storytelling going on in this movie. It's just a really well-crafted film. And of course, that makes sense as well because we have David Koepp doing the script for Disclosure Day. So it's that beautiful trifecta. We got Spielberg directing, we've got John Williams doing the music, and you've got David doing the script. All of that together gives us this beautiful sort of trifecta, this triforce of just film creatives who do such a great job crafting so many stories that we've enjoyed over the years on the big screen. And that's why I feel as though watching this movie, it really did feel like I was watching an old classic, even though it looks new, because I mean, it is new. It just came out this year. However, I'm not sure if Disclosure Day has the kind of staying power of the actual classics that we have now. So time will tell if it manages to earn that status over time, or if it just kind of fades into the background. But either way, you cannot deny that this is a film that was very well made. And I feel as though it does act as a bit of a embodiment of everything that Steven Spielberg has learned over his film history, over his resume in filmmaking. And all of that's coming together to give us a film that feels just really, really polished. The only complaints that I have, none of them are really major, and I don't think they take away overall from the film. But one thing that I did kind of miss is with the alien design in this. I liked it all right, but I did wish that we had more animatronics and more puppets used in this film. And you know, there's CG with the animals, and it kind of looks a little uncanny. I mean, I think the CG still looks good. These graphics still look good for where we're at digitally in terms of the present day, but I do wonder in 10 years, will this film look dated? And I will also say that the uncanniness almost of the animals that I felt might still work for the film in 10 years when it becomes more obvious that this looks a little odd. And I think that is because it relates to the animals and kind of what they represent in the story. That's a spoiler, and I don't think I really have to get into that to get my point across. Those of you that have watched the film know what I mean, and those of you that don't, you will know what I mean when you watch the movie. Some of the ending of this film, by the way, speaking of spoilers, felt a little bit convenient. The device that they're all using, that alien technology that they've recreated or that they claimed, I think they recreated it actually. I think they mentioned that in the movie. It's just used for so many things in this film. And at the end, it also ends up being like a power source. And I'm kind of just like, I mean, all right. They did establish how many of those they had. And then they did use them in different ways. But we did establish how advanced the aliens are. I really love the design of the spaceships we see in this, actually. But it does feel as though we wrote the script and then went back in and kind of added in the alien tech to do maybe multiple things. It's not necessarily bad, but it did feel a little bit convenient to me. Also, Jane showing up at the end felt a little, it just felt like a little bit much. Now, granted, that probably won't bother everyone, and I'm not even fully bothered by it. I just thought I'd bring it up because I did have a little think on that. I also do have one big note about a very small detail, and that is Wyatt Russell's character, his tattoos are so freaking generic. And this is a pet peeve of me with Hollywood in general. When you cast an actor who doesn't have tattoos, or actually, I don't know, Wyatt Russell might have tattoos, but you know, they're not using any of his tattoos. Those are definitely fake tattoos they put on him. And then they're like, well, what do we know about this character? Well, he's a musician. All right, flaming record tattoo, guitar, he's a musician. The reality is most people don't have tattoos that are that basic in terms of who they are. You know, like I'm a YouTuber, but I don't have like a YouTube logo tattooed on me. I don't even have like a camera tattooed on me. I have this whale, for example, but it's not because I'm a marine biologist or a cartoonist. So I just feel that tattoos have this tendency in Hollywood when we put them in there. It's like they're crafted by people that don't actually think about the range of what tattoos can mean or represent to people, the power of the imagery, and the specificity needed to create character tattoos that feel real. So that is my biggest note, but overall, that's really all I have to say. And like I said, it is very much a nitpick and it's very personal to me. So that may have bothered absolutely no one else. You can let me know down in the comments how you feel about tattoos in film. And it's not all the time, but just every now and then I feel like the people that are behind some of these tattoos are not people that have any experience with tattoos themselves. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this review. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about Disclosure Day. Did you like it? Did you not? How do you feel about it as a Spielberg film? Where does it rank for you? Let me know down in the comments. I'll see you down there. And until next time, friends, stay nerdy. Bye. Would I recommend that you see this movie? Definitely. Also, if you want to hear more about my thoughts on film, you can check out more of my movie reviews by clicking right over here. This one, you really need to check this out. This one's pretty interesting.